The sausage is wonderful. We are about to make the most amazing sausage and pepper sandwich you've ever had in your entire life. There's a reason why this is a good street food for like a feast in Brooklyn or like a county fair. It's cheap to make. It's very easy to make. We're gonna do everything just using a cast iron skillet. There's really not much to keep track of. You could invest a bunch of time or you can do it right away. If you think about those county fairs, if you go early enough in the day, the peppers are nice and crispy, the onions are crispy, the sausage isn't too overcooked, but you go later in the day, the onions are a little more caramelized, the peppers are a little bit softer, the sausage have gotten a chance to kind of cook into the peppers. So the amount of time you invest into it is going to dictate what you get out of it, but a quick sausage and pepper is gonna work just fine. I'm gonna walk you through the ingredients and then we're gonna walk through the prep. I'm gonna cook mine for half an hour, but in terms of prep, it's probably gonna take 10 minutes tops. This is basically the roundup of everything I'm gonna use today. I got some sausage and I'm gonna make this kind of just a single portion, and I'll show you the bread later when we get into building the sandwich. I got an onion, I got 2 small peppers. I'm probably gonna only use about half of this onion, it's a pretty big guy. I got a nice giant garlic clove, salt, pepper, always to taste. Got some olive oil to saute, oregano, and garlic powder. I like to use garlic powder as in addition to fresh garlic because I think it just adds a little more flavor. So we're gonna get started. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna knock my heat here to about medium. The first step is to par cook the sausage in the pan. So what I'm gonna do here is add some olive oil, and then when it's nice and shimmering hot, I'm gonna brown up the sausage on all sides. I'm not gonna cook it completely at this point because what I wanna do is once the onions and peppers are done cooking, I'm going to cook the sausage in kind of that with the liquid from that for a little while, maybe 5 minutes at the very end, just to kind of meld the flavors together. And I got hot sausage at the store. You could do this with sweet sausage. You can do this with any variety of sausage that you want. You can get creative with the peppers. There's a lot of different places that you could take this recipe. This is just the basic sausage and peppers, Italian style. This is a feast style sausage and pepper sandwich. To my pan, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil. I think that's about all the oil I'm gonna add for this entire cooking process. I'm gonna cook the sausage in it and I'm gonna cook the peppers and onions in it. Be frugal with it, but you'll want enough to saute everything and get things going. Sausages are ready to hit the pan. It's really not screaming hot yet. I'm gonna jack up the heat a little bit, but you can kind of hear it start to sizzle. And in the meantime, I'm gonna start prepping the vegetables. First, we'll start with the onions. So what I'm gonna do is, like I said, I'm only gonna use half. Cut it in half. Right down the core. And I'll use, one half is slightly bigger than the other, so I'll use that half. So what I want to do here is knock off the very end and then peel the first layer out. Now, you have a very complicated question here. It seems simple. So which way do you cut this, right? Because of the cellular structure of the onion, if you cut this way, you're gonna get better caramelization than if you were to cut this way. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna try to get it as thin as possible. So that's about as thick as you wanna get it. So I'm gonna do that with the rest of this onion. Now you can see these peppers aren't very tall. So I'm gonna actually cut this in half so that they're all kind of the same size. So that's the onion, set that aside. Now the peppers, these are rinsed. Peppers are easy, you don't have to do much to it. You just basically cut around the core. Cut around the core. I tend to not like to use a lot of this membrane. And then at the end, I just cut the membrane, cut around it. And you don't end up with much waste that way. And then just the same thing, so little pieces, kind of like matchsticks. And this doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna cut out this white part. Pepper's done. Garlic. On the board, on the knife, smash. Paper comes right off. Give it a rough chop. I like to remove that little core. Nobody wants to be eating that. That's good enough. All right, so vegetables are all prepped. Now, let's tend to the sausage. You'll see I got kind of a mess going on here. These sausages browned up nicely. I'd say they're just about medium right now. So I'm gonna take them out, transfer them to a plate. Now those are gonna cool down. I backed my heat to low. You'll see it's kind of sputtered a little bit. It's all right. Next, I'm gonna go in with all the vegetable. You'll see that smoking up nicely. Now it doesn't matter what order you put these in. This I'm gonna cook down for about 20 to 30 minutes. Again, you could do this for 5 minutes. You end up with kind of thicker peppers. I want mine to be nice and thin, and I want to develop a nice caramelization on this. Another step that's important at this stage is to season. So we're gonna go in with a little cracked pepper, a little salt, and give it a nice mix. Now, this is cooking a little bit too heavy for me. So I'm actually gonna back down that heat a little more. And I just wanna let this come down. The peppers and the onion are gonna omit their liquid. And you can see I'm already developing color. We're kind of deglazing the pan from the sausage cooking. And just let this go. Now we're about halfway in the cooking. I'm gonna add my dry seasonings here, a little garlic powder, just a little bit. We already have fresh garlic in there. And then I'm gonna add my whole oregano. Again, just a little bit. Sprinkling. Just want to give this a little herbaceousness just to kind of amp up some of the flavors. Our sausage is relatively plain, so we want to just kind of give this a little bit of depth. Now, if you start to see this where it starts to caramelize, don't panic. What I want at this point is for it to stew. These may be ready to your liking. You know, the peppers are nice and soft, the onions are nice and soft, there's a little bit of caramelization. For me, I want like almost like a paste. So what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna add a little bit of water to this mixture. What the water's gonna do, it's gonna cool down the pan just a little bit. And it's gonna stop things from sticking to the pan. That was a good amount. And it's also gonna steam some of this. So it'll soften things up a little more than they're already getting softened. I'm actually gonna add a little more. That like took it right in. Again, I'm gonna cook this for a while, so it's been cooking for about 6 minutes now. I wanna get like a 20 to 30 minute cook on these. So as that water evaporates, it's gonna start to caramelize again. It's not gonna be watery, right? Because the water's evaporating. It's just gonna develop and concentrate all those flavors, caramelize those onions. It's almost like building a French onion soup. The longer you cook it, the more flavor you develop. All right, let's talk about how I'm gonna build this sandwich. I have half of a piece of ciabatta bread that I got at Trader Joe's. What I'm gonna do is, it's kind of soft. I wanna keep it soft. I don't want this to crisp up too much. So I'm gonna cover it in some aluminum foil. I'm gonna bake it in the oven for 4 minutes. This bread will just fit this sausage. And I can fit 2 across. The other thing that I have here is this spread. It's called Italian Bomba, like Mo Bamba, I'm Sheck Wes. Hot pepper sauce. It's kind of a fermented hot chili thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this and kind of spread it on the bread to give a little bit more heat. I don't know how hot these sausages are, but I could take a little more heat than what they got. So I just added my last iteration of water. And I think what I wanna do at this point, now that it's almost nice and done, I'm gonna add my sausages back into here. Right, I'm gonna nestle them right in. And you can see the onions basically are non-existent. That's an onion right there. They've caramelized, they've kind of given up all their juice to this. And it's important to use a heavy pan for this, or even like a flat top. At the fairs, what you'll see is they'll just dump peppers and onions, a little bit of garlic on the plancha. They'll add like a giant ring of sausages, and then they'll just cut it up as they go, because it's just one of those things that's easy to make. I'm gonna call this ready now once all this liquid has kind of reabsorbed into everything. And by then, the sausages will be completely cooked, and then we'll be able to build our sandwich. All right, guys, we are done. So what I want you to do is give this video a like if you have not already, and I'm gonna show you what this looks like. Come take a look. Our peppers have kind of cooked all the way down. They've given up a lot of their juice, but they still have some of their structural integrity. The onions have basically given up everything. These are gonna fall right apart as you eat them. And the sausages are cooked right into it. I say it's perfect. I'm probably not gonna use all of these peppers and onions on this sandwich. I might. We'll see. We're gonna pile it high. Hashtag pile it high. Once my bread is ready and cooled off a little bit, I'm actually gonna let this cool off for a few seconds. We will build this sandwich. Comment below, where's your favorite place to get sausage and pepper? For me, it's gotta be a county fair. Orange County Fair. I loved going to those things. I would get everything. I'd get a gyro, I'd get a sausage and peppers. You gotta have a sausage and peppers if you go there. Other thing is a feast. If you're in New York City, San Gennaro feast. They have feasts all over the place. So if you go, get yourself a sausage and peppers, but you can make one at home. You'll want to get a nice reputable sausage. I picked up mine at Whole Foods. They looked pretty legit. You can tell from the uniformity of the grind how good a sausage is going to be. They look like they were sourced from someplace that really dedicates the time to the sausage making. The supermarket sausage that you get, what I don't like about them is they usually have ground up fennel seeds in them. Well, not whole fennel, which I think is good for flavoring sausage and peppers. They'll actually use like a powdered fennel that I think just is too much in a sausage. So, go to a nice butcher shop, get good Italian sausage to make this. I used all red peppers because I think green peppers ruin the taste of everything. So I like the way red peppers kind of come out. You can experiment, dude. If you want green peppers, if you want to mix, they have yellow peppers, orange peppers. You can use poblano peppers for a little bit of a spicier kick. All right, let's build. So we got our Mo Bamba sauce. You'll see this is kind of like an oil. That's about it. Don't want to go too crazy on this. Those sausages may be a little spicy. Let's put a bed of peppers and onions. Make sure we get some in every bite. On with sausage number 1. On with sausage number 2. Now this is probably a large serving for somebody. What do you think? How'd we do? Let's slice it open and take a bite.
Perfect.
Time for the taste test. Let's see. The sausage is wonderful. This is really good. I think the hot pepper spread may have overdone it a little bit. These sausages are quite hot. This is really tasty. I'm really glad I went with red peppers on this because it's nice and sweet. It kind of balances and offsets that heat a little bit, but this is totally a winner. You're definitely gonna wanna try this. Give it a shot. Let me know in the comments below if you do and what you thought of this recipe. I'd love to hear about it. You can contact me on social media. My links are in the description below, and get yourself a sausage and peppers. Checking back in real quick before I finish this sandwich, just to tell you, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon to get notified when new videos are posted or when I go live. You never know, I might throw up a cooking video live. You definitely don't want to miss that. So make sure you're subscribed, make sure you like this video, comment below, let me know what you thought. Thank you for watching.